Picture this. You've been living under the illusion that everything is safe until you wake up one morning. The foundation of your future, your savings, your investments, is based on empty promises that might go in an instant. None of these institutions, banks, governments, or markets can promise you a comfortable retirement. However, what you see before you is an actual physical object that has served as a treasure chest for countless generations. Metal of silver, rather than a digital identifier, neither a digital token nor an obscure derivative. I'm referring to physical silver, the kind that will never go out of style and can safeguard your riches in the face of adversity. In this article, I will explain why silver is going to increase in value by a factor of 5 soon, and why you will come to deeply regret ignoring this fact. Silver is subtly rising to the position of most significant metal in the modern era. This is not due to its monetary worth or its use in jewelry, but rather to the critical function it plays in the innovations that will determine our fate. Silver is one of the most attractive investment prospects of this decade, and you should pay attention to it right now. An all-time high in silver demand is being fueled by the worldwide movement towards sustainable energy. From a low of 60 million ounces in 2015, the use of silver in solar panel production surged to a record 232 million ounces in 2024. The International Energy Agency predicts that by 2030 there will be more than 4,000 gigawatts of additional solar capacity, which is a direct result of the worldwide dedication to renewable energy. Due to its extremely high electrical conductivity, silver is an essential component of photovoltaic cells. This function will only grow in importance as the world moves towards solar power. The growth of silver is being driven by more than just solar power. Another important factor is the EV revolution, which pertains to electric vehicles. Compared to a gas-powered vehicle, an electric vehicle has 2 to 3 times the amount of silver, at about 2,550 grams. The demand for silver in the automobile industry is expected to surge when the number of electric vehicles, EVs, sold worldwide reaches 17 million in 2025. New developments in the field are elevating silver's profile, such as the use of a silver carbon composite layer in solid-state electric vehicle batteries developed by Samsung. The demand for silver is on the rise, and the electronics industry is one reason why. Connectors, switches, and conductive adhesives are just a few of the many electrical components that use silver. The demand for silver in this industry is expected to continue rising because to the increasing global connectivity and reliance on electronic gadgets. Actually, in 2024, the usage of silver in electronics and electrical applications hit an all-time high, highlighting the vital role that it plays in today's technology. On the other hand, supply has not increased at the same rate as demand. The primary source of silver is the mining industry, specifically the lead, zinc, and copper industries. This makes silver output less sensitive to price signals and causes supply constraints during periods of high demand. With demand persistently surpassing supply from mine operations and recycling sources, the silver market is facing a structural deficit in 2025. In October 2025, silver prices reached multi-year highs, trading above $5 per ounce, thanks in part to this ongoing imbalance. As a result of a perfect storm of rising demand and falling supply, the price of silver is likely to keep climbing. The expansion of solar energy, electric vehicles, and electronics, along with the fact that silver is still in short supply, bodes well for the metal's value. The moment to start paying attention is now if you haven't already included silver in your investment strategy. Sterling silver has evolved into much more than a mere precious metal. It's an essential part of the technology that will shape the world in the years to come. Silver is an attractive investment opportunity because to its growing involvement in important industries and its surpassing demand. Make the most of this opportunity. Silver is a great investment right now. Due to a severe shortage in supply, silver prices have recently soared to new heights in the market. Rising industrial demand, finite mining capacity, and unpredictability in global politics are all contributing causes to the scarcity. Spot prices for silver in 2025 had surpassed $53 per ounce, an 85% increase from the previous year. This surge is more rapid than the 59% increase in gold prices, suggesting a fundamental change in the precious metals market. Heavy purchases from Indian customers getting ready for wedding season, high interest from investors, and increased demand from industries are the main factors driving this surge. Due to the extreme silver scarcity in London, where reserves are at record lows, the price of ONN22 is higher than the COMEX futures prices in New York. Air shipments of silver from the US to the UK, normally reserved for gold, have become infrequent because to the short availability. Since 70% of silver is extracted as a secondary element in the mining of other metals such as copper, lead, and zinc, the supply shortage is even more severe. Because of this, silver output is less sensitive to price signals than other commodities, and it becomes increasingly difficult for producers to meet surges in demand. With demand persistently surpassing supply from mine operations and recycling sources, the silver market is facing a structural deficit in 2025. As a result of a perfect storm of rising demand and falling supply, the price of silver is likely to keep climbing. The expansion of solar energy, electric vehicles, and electronics, along with the fact that silver is still in short supply, bodes well for the metal's value. Now is the moment to pay attention if you haven't already thought about silver as an investment option. Sterling silver has evolved into much more than a mere precious metal. It's an essential part of the technology that will shape the world in the years to come. Silver is an attractive investment opportunity because to its growing involvement in important industries and its surpassing demand. Make the most of this opportunity. Silver is a great investment right now. Compared to its 2025 low of $35 per ounce, silver's current price of around $52 per ounce is a considerable improvement. As a result of this boom, the gold-to-silver ratio has shrunk significantly, from an average of 661 mining visuals during the past quarter of a century to its present level of approximately 92.1. This high ratio indicates that silver is still cheap compared to gold. The ratio of gold to silver has changed a lot over history. For example, in 1980, the ratio was about 1,791, suggesting that silver's value was far closer to that of gold. The relative undervaluation of silver relative to gold has been reflected in this ratio, which has risen over time and peaked at over 100.1 in recent years, according to Wikipedia. According to this pattern, silver's price might be about to skyrocket. Strong industrial demand and limited supply are the present market characteristics that lend credence to the idea that silver could beat gold in the years to come. The growth of solar power, EVs, and electronics is likely to boost demand for silver, which might lead to a price hike for the precious metal. Despite silver's long-standing undervaluation in comparison to gold, the market and demand forecasts point to a possible impending price spike for the metal. As silver's price returns to its long-term average, investors may find promising opportunities. When markets are volatile, investors look for assets with a high potential for capital preservation and stability. Historically, silver has been that hedge, providing a physical store of value in times of declining faith in fiat currencies. In 2025, geopolitical tensions, inflation worries, and supply limits drove silver's price increase to over $52 per ounce, highlighting its position as a safe haven asset. Business on Fox. Due in large part to its inherent value, silver is often thought of as a safeguard against economic uncertainty. The value of silver is intrinsic to its physical characteristics and finite supply, as opposed to paper money, which can lose value due to inflation or policy shifts. During times of economic uncertainty, when people seek to hold on to their riches through tangible goods, this shortage becomes even more apparent. In addition, economic downturns seem to be correlated with silver's performance. When markets are unpredictable, investors seek out commodities like silver because they are seen as safer investments. Silver prices have historically risen in response to this flight to safety. Furthermore, silver's industrial uses add to its demand and worth, as demonstrated in the current market. Several industries rely on the metal, such as electric vehicles, solar power, and electronics. This metal's dual function as an investment vehicle and a tool for manufacturing contributes to silver's allure in times of economic turmoil by capitalizing on its demand from investors in industrial applications. Silver is an attractive economic hedge due to its intrinsic worth, historical performance, and dual role in industry and investing. Silver is still a good choice for investors who want to hedge their bets during times of financial uncertainty, especially since global markets aren't going anywhere anytime soon. Regarding the acquisition of substantial fortune, having physical possessions is unrivaled. Everything from equities to digital currencies can disappear in an instant due to policy shifts, market crashes, or financial fraud. The physical state of silver is distinct. Having physical possession of silver in the form of a coin or bar grants you ownership of an asset that does not reliant on any one entity, such as a bank, government, or trading platform. As a material, physical silver has several uses. It's a way to keep money on the go. You can physically hold it, check its authenticity, and keep it safe at home or in reputable vaults. Unlike traditional paper investments, it is not dependent on a promissory note, a hacked digital key, or a ledger record. When currencies are losing purchasing power owing to inflation or economic instability, this independence becomes even more important as a foundation for financial security. Physical silver is stunning since it is used all over the world. Silver is a precious metal regardless of your location. Almost everything accepts it as a form of payment or a medium of exchange. No matter what happens to governments or financial institutions, actual silver is a safe haven for your savings. Physical silver ownership also offers protection from counterparty risk. Third parties are dependent on ETFs, futures contracts, and stocks to fulfill their responsibilities. You risk losing all of your money if the business collapses, declares bankruptcy, or commits fraud. You can avoid such risk when dealing with actual silver. You are the sole owner of the asset. In addition, the malleability is enhanced by physical silver. You can buy it little by little, allowing you to build money without being vulnerable to big market fluctuations. Coins, bars, and rounds are all available for diversification. Pick the one that best suits your strategy and storage needs. Because of its high liquidity, it can be easily used or sold when the time comes, eliminating the need for intricate financial procedures. Anyone looking to invest with a firm grasp on the idea of true ownership, the goal of amassing actual silver should not be speculation, but rather the attainment of financial independence, safety, and security for the future. You can hold and see it, and it acts as a hedge against uncertainty. Unlike digital or paper assets, which are constantly vulnerable to outside forces, tangible wealth is something you can hold in your hands, keep for the future, and pass on to your heirs. To sum up, having real silver is a powerful symbol of empowerment. In other words, it's the difference between owning something physical and only having a numerical value. You can safeguard your financial future, keep more of your hard-earned money in your pockets, and make sure it's real, portable, and safe with this technique. Silver in its physical form is a need for anybody concerned about safety in the long run. Do not omit this step. He is so sure that silver would do well in the future that he has predicted a 5-fold increase in its price. It is important to exercise caution when making such predictions, and to consult with a financial advisor for personalized guidance, just as with any investment.